At 4ZZZ, we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we broadcast. We pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging of the Turrbal and Jagera people. We acknowledge that their sovereignty over this land was never ceded.
And we stand in solidarity with them.
You're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ, amplifying the trans and gender non-conforming voices of Brisbane and beyond.
This is Transmission on 4ZZZ. I'm Sean, your abomination about town, and my pronouns are paying the price to the gender gods, but with someone else's blood. She, her.
Oh my god, my name's Hazel, and my pronouns are the last girl barely surviving. She, her.
Nice.
My name's Lauren, and my pronouns are we are sex bomb, and this song's about having they them pronouns.
Alright, keep it going.
Oh my god, my name's Jade and my pronouns are she, her.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That is what it feels like, how she, her pronouns.
Perfection. It really does.
Perfect.
I wake up in the morning and I'm like, she, her. I do that in meetings too. It's great.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. This is, as I said, this is Transmission on 4ZZZ. There is a lot more voices in the studio than you're used to, which is delightful because we have some very special guests. Because of their magnificent new release, Jackie, the one, the only, the band I talk the most about on here.
I think it's likely.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
definitely half of our conversations.
We have Jade and Loz from the Worm Girlz. Yes.
Wriggle.
Yeah,
Finally.
what's the worm noise?
Wriggle.
Wriggle.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alright,
I've only been advocating for this for like a year.
Yeah.
I think. But no, it's delightful to have you here.
Yeah.
Welcome. I'm so pleased. So, dear
goodness.
listeners, a little bit of housekeeping first to start with, and remind you all that we are broadcasting from the unceded lands, the Yuggera and Turrbal people. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. And I'd like to remind listeners, those of you who are familiar with the dulcet tones of the abomination about town, I enjoy the full spectrum of language, which means you're occasionally going to need to get out the swear jar. If that is a problem for you, on one hand, I think you should probably take a look at yourself. But on the other hand, it's totally reasonable if you don't want to listen to me getting on my bullshit. There you go. There's an example of swear jar time.
There you go.
So we are going to be playing quite a few songs that will have some language in them and some themes. I love a good theme. Ooh, baby's first theme.
Wow.
So we're going to throw over to a little bit more music, and we're going to come back, and we're going to be talking to the Worm Girlz about the new song Jackie, which we're going to play in the upcoming slot. You're listening to Transmission. Everybody just... That's right.
We got the secret extended version.
Wow. My darlings, you're listening
more.
to Transmission on 4ZZZ. This is Sean, your abomination about town, and my pronouns are chasing through the woods in the dead of the night.
Hi.
And this is...
My name is Hazel, and my pronouns are obsessed that Elvira or Elvira, I don't know how to pronounce it, is actually a lesbian now.
Yeah! And...
we're Worm Girls.
Pronouns, none of your business.
We are...
Sorry.
Love it.
We will not cross
That is great. I will never
Yeah, please
ask.
don't cross my boundary. I'm asking for my pronouns.
It's the least we could do.
We respect all people's pronouns,
do.
even if those pronouns are telling us
Not
to
today.
Yeah,
go
top
fuck
secret.
ourselves.
Yeah.
My darlings, you are listening to 4ZZZ. That you just heard the newest track from the Worm Girlz, Jackie, and I mean I'm low-key obsessed with it, obviously, because horror, vampy, goth girly, and anything that's got those vibes speaks to me. And we are blessed to have the magnificent Lauren and Jade of the Worm Girlz come in and spend some time with us to talk about the new song. Welcome, thank you for being here.
Yippee, thanks for having us. We've been so excited.
Oh, so excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
Counting down the days.
So, I mean, should we dive in? I want to ask, I'm really curious about the track. I mean, you've always, the previous releases of the Worm Girlz, and I adore them all, they've got a real sort of person level focus about what's kind of triggering it. Things like holding people to account for their behaviour, or songs about public harassment, or songs about body dysmorphia and dysphoria. Talk to me about, sort of what's inspired Jackie from this place that you create music.
We wanted to have a bit more fun, I feel like, with this release. Not that talking about all those other things are not really fun, especially in the way that Worms does it. I feel like we make it a bit more lighthearted for ourselves. But I feel like we wanted to encapsulate like a vibe that can really be... I feel like you can interpret Jackie in so many different ways, and like it can have so many different meanings about what it can relate to in the real world in exploitive ways. And I think we wanted to touch on, just like more of a general issue of like that exploitation and power dynamics. And for us, we could really relate it to sort of the music industry and also just capitalism. In general.
It does feel like a broadening of your point of view.
Yeah, 100%.
To kind of fold that into the sort of work that you're already making.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add on that?
Just that it was really fun to write.
Yeah.
I think we wanted to write a song that had a name in it and the title, and that was sort of what sparked it. And we're pretty dramatic people and love like theatrics and world building and creativity. And so I think that it just naturally became something quite dramatic and fun. And
it was almost like we kind of just got into like a flow state of this like silly, spooky, creepy world. And then we were like, oh, wait, but like, what does this song mean to us? And it was almost like that came second, but it still influenced a lot of the lyrics. Like when a lot of the song feels like it's like a warning, right? We're saying run, but it's almost like we've had that warning like our whole lives in like every single thing that we've ever done. So when you think about the music industry, you're warned against entering the music industry, one, because everyone's like, it's not a real job and you'll make no money, which is so wrong. Whatever, get over that, go to sleep, go fishing if you think that, whatever.
Yeah. Nice.
But it's also like you're warned against like, oh, well, you will just be taken advantage of and you will just be like exploited.
You'll
and
age out.
You'll age out. Like, oh, you're not 16 and like pretty blonde. Like, oh, it's over for you already. And so we wanted to, but so this song's kind of just being like, nah. Let's like take those warnings and make them a bit sillier and just like
and I guess writing sort of like genre fiction or like genre is a really fun avenue for that, because it allows you to take all those existing tropes and remix and make it yours. I'm delighted by it, and genuinely I'm sure that there's someone out there whose name is Jackie who likes to go running and they just put it on repeat as they sprint down suburban streets in their footwear.
I have a really good friend called Jackie, actually, and I didn't even put the connection together until we were doing an art in the park event, and they were there, and we performed the song acoustically, and they were like, is that song about me? I was like, oh, actually listen to the lyrics and also run.
The song's about eating your friends and you should run, Jackie.
So you should probably run, Jackie.
Acoustic version of Jackie. I'm very curious.
It's especially during the guitar solo when we only have one guitar.
Yeah.
Wow.
It typically becomes a sea of voices also singing the guitar with Bella shredding it up on the acoustic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Bella is magnificent.
Absolutely.
Oh my god. I mean, like the I was going to ask you about the sort of the connection for horror as a genre to the subject of exploitation, but like I mean, you've kind of already spoken to that point of those connections to what that kind of all those tropes and genre stuff means.
And we just love it. Like I feel like Jade and I especially both just like love a spooky horror with like Easter eggs and anything that you can really like sink your teeth into and fully get around. Like some of our favorite combined like movies and things are like your Midsummers and Hereditary and Yellow Jackets and all of those sorts of things. And so we really just wanted to do something a bit different, I think, with the songwriting and lean into, we love a theme.
Yeah,
and so I feel
we
like
do.
Baby's first themes.
Yeah,
No, actually,
we,
really not. You're well
not
and truly.
really.
You're well and
But-
truly experienced. You are not Baby's first themes.
I feel
at
like
all.
we've definitely picked themes for each song, mainly because it was like the emotion we were already feeling, or something that we were so overwhelmed about that we had to write a song about it. So this one did kind of come from more of a place of like, let's have some fun in our songwriting process. Let's write something that's maybe a little bit silly and goofy, but let's like lean hard into more of a, I guess, like a genre theme rather than like a political issue or a social issue that we were feeling like affected us.
Well, I think that's something that shines through in all your work is the specificity of
Yeah.
what's happening in it. You know, pop songs. I'm not talking down pop at all,
Yeah.
but like the I'll hold your hand and love you to the end of time sort of generic universality of it. Whereas when you look at other genres that delve into the specific, the example I always give is the song Jolene by Dolly Parton is about a specific woman married to a specific man who is considering running away with another specific woman, and in that specificity we find ourselves. And so I think about how the tracks from the Worm Girlz, they seem so specific and tied to very very individual stories. And in that, I see myself and experience it. So, the fact that you're delving into a very specific, Jackie, you need to run, your friends are going to eat you. Like, there's a real, like, and I'm like, yeah, that really speaks to me on a deep level. Really?
Yeah, I'm really worried about
my belly's
friends eating me.
rumbling.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been there.
We've all been there. And so was there other, like, you were saying obviously that you love yourself a spooky, scary.
Yes.
I grew up watching sort of watching a lot of video nasties, splat gore 80s bullshit.
Yeah,
And I used to work in a video store. I'm letting everyone know how old I am. I used to work at a Blockbuster video store.
Oh my god.
That was my dream when I was little,
yeah,
to be honest.
that-
I was like,
it was the best.
yeah.
It was the best.
I remember being like, I want to say like 8 years old and asking the person who worked at Blockbuster, like, how do I get a job here? Like, can I work here one day? And they were like, yeah, when you're older. And I was like, yes.
Was it me?
I hope so.
Oh my gosh.
But like consuming all of that media, like obviously there's the things. Is there anything specific that, like, you've mentioned Yellow Jackets and things like that as a connection to this work? What else kind of got thrown into the mix that helped you kind of conceptualize it?
Well, I would say, yeah, obviously Yellow Jackets was a huge inspiration.
Yeah.
Really influenced, like, as well, the timing of us just writing the song. I think we'd just finished watching season 2 together.
Yeah.
And we were like, we're obsessed with this. We were just like, how do we like get involved in this? How do we like join this world that obviously like the creators of the show have built, and all of the cast like are incredible. And we just wanted to like have a slice of that. So we were like, how do we like join this moment that's happening with this show? And by writing this song, I feel like we're able to like connect with that community of fans,
but also make it like yours and very specific to the location.
100%,
Listeners, if you haven't gotten on and seen the film clip for it, there is a real picnic and hanging rock Australian Gothic energy to it. There's sort of like firelit gum trees is like creepy as hell so specific to where we're at the moment. In
our director Tayla.
You drop in.
I'm
Tayla.
dropping Taylor's their references as well for the video. They were super into sort of taking like high and lowbrow influences from like Dante's Inferno, Groundhog Day, A Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and in some ways the final scenes from Inkheart.
Oh.
Yes. And so, yeah, it was like those obviously influenced Taylor's sort of direction with the video. Huge shout out to Tayla.
What a wide range of references.
Yeah.
That's
Magnificent. Certainly someone to keep. Certainly someone for all our audiences to keep their eye on.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah. At Taylor.Lauren on Instagram.
Yes.
There you go.
Nice. Get the plug in.
And so obviously, seeing all the content streaming on all the services and seeing that you're doing, you're up and down the coast doing a whole bunch of shows. I missed the Chappell Roan show at Felons Barrel Hall. How did that go? Just out of curiosity.
It was
awesome.
Like the best ending to our like being silly, goofy, singing Chappell on stage era.
I'm
Yeah,
so
it was-
disappointed I
yeah.
missed it. Was it like the girls were there for it and the guys were confused by it? Was
Oh
that,
my God.
that situation? That's cis straight.
It was
It-
better than
up
I
until, like-
thought it was really going to be that.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a lot more of people confused and being like, who is this? What's going on?
And like an hour before the show, half an hour before the show, it probably was that.
Yeah.
I was like
Oh.
walking through the crowd with my, heart face paint.
He
King
was
of
so
Summer.
dressed up.
I had
Yeah.
this corset that was made by a local designer called Gorhor, and
Love that.
It had like Chappell's face on it, had nipple tassels. It was a very beautiful piece, and I was walking through Felons and just getting like the most horrendous looks from men. In particular,
Yeah.
looking,
Yeah, we've all got the
looking at my
white face
face,
paint on.
looking
Yeah.
down at my boobs, back to my face, and I was just like, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Like I'm a human. I'm watching you do this, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really slow, and it's really embarrassing.
Slow
for
is
you.
the best way to describe it.
that meat market up and down that you get.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's not a good time.
And yeah, that was happening about half an hour before the show, and I was like, "Oh God, where are they? Where's the chapel? Where's the chapel?
Where are the
fans?
girls, the gays, and the bears?
Please arrive,
Show up, please.
Yeah.
But they did.
Because of course,
They
my
did.
favorite, one of my favorite things was seeing that the Chappell Roan show at the Cleveland Sands Hotel.
So true.
And the very confused guys who thought that they were the vibe when they really weren't the vibe. Dear listeners, a group of young men who completely were misreading all of the signals being sent by the Worm Girlz on stage, decided to crowd in towards the front and try and engage them in conversation during their set. And so you sang My Kink Is Karma
Yes.
directly to them, which was a delight. It was
Wow.
probably one
Yeah.
of the most iconic... Look, I'm just going to say, get the swear jar out. It was cunty as hell, and I adored it. Hats off. Tip of the hat to you for that one. It was magnificent.
It was really not the vibe. They
was really
really
not the
thought
vibe.
they were vibing. I feel like they were shouting like requests at us too.
I think they were
It's like-
hitting on us.
They really were.
Oh, they were so
And
hitting on
Well,
you.
I mean, also for drunk guys, it's probably like all of this and like 5 other things,
Oh,
and not
yeah.
a single conscious
Oh,
thought.
Yeah,
And you know what? And they say that they can't multitask. I mean, especially when you're like doing that to people who have songs like Dirt, which is about public harassment.
Literally.
And Cool Girl, which is about holding people to account for their shitty public behavior. Like, it's just like, guys,
We
you are
literally yelled, "Get away from me!"
barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
So what upcoming gigs have you got that we can plug and talk about? Or upcoming... Hang on, you mentioned secrets earlier.
Oh, we do have.
We have so many secrets.
Okay, well, do we want to take a little music break?
Let's do.
And then we'll come back and we'll talk about secrets.
Amplifying the voices of the trans and gender non-conforming community of Meanjin, Brisbane and beyond.
Transmission on 4ZZZ brings you the latest in trans community news, music and events.
Every Tuesday from 9am till 10am.
Join our team of hosts for an hour of celebrating the unique perspectives of the trans community.
Transmission, Tuesday mornings from 9am till 10am on 4ZZZ.
This is Transmission on 4ZZZ. This is Sean, your abomination about town, and my pronouns are swinging a chainsaw around on a country road at sunset.
Yeehaw.
Oh my
She, her.
god. Hi, my name's Hazel, and my pronouns are sudden static noises. She, her.
Hi, I'm
We're Worm
Lauren.
Girlz.
Oh,
Oh,
we're Worm Girls. We're Worm Girls, and our pronouns are eating bugs off the walls. Yummy.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's valid.
I thought you guys were going to make a
Genuine-
joke,
on
but
this-
instead you went relatable. I like
On
it.
this,
Yeah.
on this,
True.
on this, the day after Trans Day of Visibility,
Yes.
your pronouns of eating bugs off the wall are valid.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I feel seen.
Yeah. I'm glad.
I feel visible.
What's going on with you two? There was something that you were alluding to before that you want to talk. Do you want to talk to us about? I mean, obviously you've got gigs lined up, which you haven't announced, so we can't
Yeah.
really talk about them. So
They have to stay in the back pocket for a little bit longer.
My
to
reminder
cook.
to
Yeah,
listeners
we've gotta
would
let
be
'em
to
cook.
Yeah.
jump on
Check
the
out the
feeds,
feeds.
jump on their socials.
Yeah.
Worm Girlz with a Z.
Worm Girlz with a
We're
Z.
active.
The Z
there.
is very important.
It's very
But
important.
what little secrets can you tell us about what's happening? Is there anything you can imply?
Yes. Some of the people that know Worm Girlz know that we just did a couple of Art in the Park events in Naarm and in Gadigal as well, Melbourne and Sydney recently, and they've been asking when is the Meanjin
Yeah,
out in the
Brisbane
park?
when?
And we said, soon. And it's really soon.
It's really soon.
It's really soon.
What can people expect at an Art in the Park, Jade?
Colouring, music,
Oh,
Yep.
friends,
Cool.
food,
Worms.
worms,
Yeah.
Yep.
Tomfoolery.
crochet.
Yeah.
Do we have to bring our own worms to this?
You can, but it's not.
What
if
if
you-
encouraged?
What
Yeah.
if you are the worm?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, bring
Oh,
yourself.
that's covered then. 2 birds, 1 stone.
And
Yeah.
typically,
Don't
like,
talk about birds at
I'm
worm
so
girls
sorry.
events.
So
People
sorry.
will freak out.
Yeah.
no early birds.
Do not
please.
be early to the Worm Girlz out in the park.
The worms will be afraid.
Yeah, so scared.
But maybe we'll teach you to make a crochet worm if you want to learn.
That's a requirement.
Yeah.
No, just an option.
An option.
Yeah.
I will
Cool.
be making worms in
Yeah.
bulk, always.
It
every
sounds
day.
delightful. It sounds like a real treat.
Wonderful. Delighted. Let's talk about weird stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
We talked.
About time.
We were talking. Yeah, because this has all been so normal all the way up until now.
I'm sick of this shit.
So yeah, this is, you know what? This is normal bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's get to the weirdness. Okay, so dear listeners, those of you who've been tuning in the last couple of shows that I've run, I've been talking about the idea of reclaiming media in the world for yourself, for your own identity. Death of the author. An artist puts something out into the world. You interpret it and experience it in your internal world however the hell you want. And I have been making the point that, to me, Cold Chisel's Flame Trees reads as a trans allegory. And I think, what was last time? Arcade Fire?
Yeah.
I found another one. But the coincidence here is very strange. The coincidence of this is a little bit odd. Cold Chisel, Jimmy Barnes being Scottish Australian, pub rock. Not the only Scottish Australian pub rock outfit. That's iconic.
Yeah.
Men at Work. Colin Hay, Scottish Australian. That's it. There
That's
it is. The thing that they stole from.
I was going to say,
yes,
that's a
the thing that they
nursery rhyme,
copyrighted.
From the
actually.
Kookaburra thing and got in a lot of trouble for it. But the song Waiting for My Real Life to Begin by Colin Hay. I'm going to play a little bit of it now. And we're going to talk over the top of it because we don't have the time to listen to the whole song, but we'll just put it on and we'll see if this is... Yeah, I'll let you listen to the first little bit.
My name is Georgie Stone, and you're listening to Transmission on 4ZZZ.
As we're coming up on the end of the hour, just a reminder that, yesterday being Trans Day of Visibility, International Trans Day of Visibility, it was a magnificent day to see so many people on social media posting a lot of messages of goodwill and kindness. And to remind everyone that your visibility is an act of revolution. You going out into the world, being who you are, authentically you, creates change. I grew up in an era where there was zero representation. I'd never seen or even understood what a trans person was. Working in a video store, the only trans people I ever saw in media were serial killers and victims of serial killers, i.e. Leatherface swinging a chainsaw on a Sunset Country Road. Lovely. But you being in the world changes things. It might not feel like much, but it does. And things are shifting and changing. And yes, there's people who are pushing back, but there are far more people in the world who are on your side, who are kind and compassionate, who want to support, and the only barrier is their fear that they're going to cause hurt and upset by flubbing the pronouns or getting it wrong. But by being present, by engaging in the world, you change it for others. So, on that note, we're going to say goodbye. So, goodbye from the abomination about town.
Goodbye from Hazel.
Goodbye from Worm Girlz.
Wow.
That was...
Yes, with the Z.
That was
With the Z.
Keep that up.
keep that up.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram? Where do they find you?
Yeah.
At Worm Girlz with a
Across-
Z.
Yeah, with a Z. Very important.
Sometimes with 2 Zs across socials too.
Okay, cute.
Yeah.
Love it.
We also have a Discord
Yeah.
and a broadcast channel and an email list.
Well, you wouldn't be gender non-conforming if you didn't have a Discord.
Exactly.
Just around the corner is the cults, and then the multi-level marketing, and we'll get there. We're working on it.
Multi-level.
It's giving mushroom vibes.
Don't bring mushrooms into this. Sorry.
No, you're all good. You're all good. My darlings, I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday, and get ready to feel completely messed up. But here we go.
You've been wormed.
We've been wormed.
Get one.
Thank you so much for listening to Transmission. See you next Tuesday, 9 to 10 a.m. on 4ZZZ.